All right, and thank you very much. Very excited to hear from the Shenzhen Venture Capital Association. Now, Hong Kong's legislative body is a little unusual in that it not only has representatives from geographical locations, but also those who provide expertise and representation for their industry. And so Hong Kong FinTech Week would not be complete without hearing from the representing for the technology and innovation sector. And so we welcome to give the legislators' view, Mr. Duncan Chiu. Duncan, please. All right.
Good afternoon. Happy to be here. I guess in the morning section, a lot of you have heard from government officials, project companies, financial institutes about their view on Web3 and digital assets in Hong Kong. So with the 10 minutes that I have, I want to share with you our work at Legislative Council about what we have done on the role so far. For the last year, this only marked the first year anniversary where the government announced the policy statement on the development of virtual assets. So in the last year, at LegCo, what we have done, I can quickly do a review. With the October marked the first policy statement, and then December 2022, the government announced the Innovation and Technology Development Blueprint, which laid out the few directions that the government want to lead the technology development in Hong Kong. And in December, at the same time, we at LegCo, Legislative Council, we passed the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorist Financing Amendment Bill, which lay out the foundation for the virtual asset service platform. And then Hong Kong MA, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, at the same month, issued the conclusion of discussion paper on crypto asset and stablecoin, which we also have to give comment on. Later on in February this year, the budget announcement by the government also did an inclusion of the task force on virtual asset development, and then a Web3 committee was formed by the government to decide and also advise on the Web3 roadmap further on. And then in February this year, the SFC issued consultation conclusion on the proposed regulatory requirement for VATP, virtual asset trading platforms. And then in June, the licensing regime starts. So you met some of the licensed company just now. And all these work were only done in 1 year. In a few months' time, we placed catch-up work. So this shows the determination of the government and also a Legislative Council to healthily produce and legislate the market and the digital asset development in Hong Kong. With that, we have always been looking at our peer cities or peer countries on the work of legislation. At the Legislative Council, we have to take in advice, suggestions from the industry, different market stakeholders, and then we submit our suggestions to the government on the role of legislations. So comparing our roadmap to cities like Dubai and Singapore, in the last year alone, we have already catch up on the licensing regime for dealing service, advisory services, exchange services, and custody services. And we should be working on the payment services and, of course, OTC legislation. You all know that the stablecoin is under another round of consultation, and the stablecoin legislation will be likely to be next year's. And there are also discussions on tokenized assets and crypto for retail investors, which has been going on. So I believe there will be a lot of work in the coming years so that we can lay better foundation into the discussions and the establishment of digital asset regime in Hong Kong. So there's one report I want to share from McKenzie, which I think is quite relevant, which it says in the next 10 years, the financial innovation and from the Web3 digital assets will come into a coexistence period until by the end of the decade, the end of the 10 years, there will be fully digitized financial services everywhere. So within this 10 years, there will be countries or cities, pioneers in launching digital asset solutions, and they will coexist with the existing traditional financial institutions. And with these products introduction, there will be mass adoption, and that will further push forward the investment into digital infrastructure, talents, product categorizations, professional guidance, etc., etc. And with that, that will move forward and push into further mass adoption of digital assets. And until then, by the time when mass adoption were being taken, were being accepted, the whole market will then transform to digital asset transactions. And what's the benefit of Hong Kong, advantage of Hong Kong doing this? I think you heard from some of our government officials, the depth of the financial markets in Hong Kong, the sizable financial industries in Hong Kong, which we can allow all the financial products in Hong Kong being digitized or tokenized. In terms of asset and wealth management, the market stats show that Hong Kong has $4.5 trillion asset under management. And for the banking sector, we have 3.36 trillion total assets. And digital payment, we have 33.4 billion transactions. Insurance, $74 billion total gross premium. Securities, 203 billion total assets $. And also trading in Hong Kong account for 1.37 trillion total trade. So these are all areas we need digitization, we need tokenizations, where a lot of the Web3 and digital assets innovations can apply. And for that, I can categorize into a few categories we can look into in future. I think a lot of these projects were being introduced in the morning. One is tokenization of real-world assets, or projects like DPIN, where Hashkey just mentioned. So I believe there will be several use cases in the tokenization of real-world assets, which I think will very soon see there are a demonstration of cases in Hong Kong. I heard a lot of projects going on in Hong Kong. The second category we can look into are digital assets, maybe things like NFT, IP digitalizations. I think we see, of course, a bubble in NFT in the last years. And I think digital assets also have to go to the fundamental pricing mechanism, where rarity, scarcity, and the use case determine the price of the product. So we were going to see some breakthrough in NFT soon. I've seen some gaming, social media projects which they still leverage NFT. I think there are still use case in the market for NFT and collectible and gaming. And third, of course, is cryptocurrency and CBDCs. CBDC, there will be e-Hong Kong dollar and ECNY use case, test case very soon, expect in Hong Kong. And of course, the definition of cryptocurrency, which product can be traded, how do they apply to professional investors or retail investors, and which category are yet to be discussed and is underway with the platform being licensed. So I hope in this regard, the few category of digital assets that we see now, there's going to be a lot more, will undergo discussions, legislations, and regulatory approvals in the coming years to come. There are a few areas that I think, as a legislator, I would like to put more attention to. With the recent example of some bad actors in the market, I think that will only speed up the legislation process and lead to a more healthy introduction of a digital asset market in Hong Kong. So there are areas we should look into, and as a legislative councillor, I would propose that we should table at the LegCo to discuss. One is the reform, the regulations of the OTC transaction, or maybe MSO, to actually better regulate the crypto assets transactions in Hong Kong. Second is to clarify the custodian need. For now, the VATP platform exchange operator, they do the custodian function as well. But whether we have clear custodian guideline for all market participants is also one thing I want to bring up to discuss. The last and not least is I have been advocating a tokenization of real asset led by government. So there are many ways of tokenization of assets. And if in terms of the government or bureau can lead by example some of the tokenization cases in terms of, I did advocacy to the chief executive before the policy address, is to tokenize, let's say, some of the land in Hong Kong where we're going to rebuild, maybe in the northern metropolis, we can leverage tokenization to start trial a new ownership systems and let people also invest into the land and development of future Hong Kong, and also have a voting mechanism that we can make best use of the tokenization process. So hopefully we're going to see more use case in Hong Kong. I believe in a very positive environment and industry development in Hong Kong in the digital assets. Thank you.